And there we are. Live
Hello.
on YouTube.
Hello.
Hello.
How are we? Hello.
Hi, everyone. All
Um,
one person that's probably on, or maybe two, if we're lucky.
God, your mic is really noisy today, Tom. I'm guessing
mic?
it is.
What do you mean?
Sounds like I can just hear the springs going up and down, but I think it's my headphones being really sensitive as well.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't have a mouse, but I am going to get a mouse mat. You might hear your voice in a second because it's just loading up the live stream. Okay.
I'm explaining the joke this time.
Right. Okay, we're up and we're live. Fantastic. Right, let me just tweet that out, and then I will be almost ready to go. Talk amongst yourselves.
I got a compliment yesterday for my rant.
From...
Did you hear my rant last week, Charlie?
I only watched a bit of your one from last week. I'm not sure I did. Can't remember.
Right at the end, I went on a little rant about Extreme E and about my hatred for Top Gear. And then I found the guy that wrote it on LinkedIn. I was so tempted to tag him in.
You did, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
I mean, you tagged Top Gear in it.
Yeah, I tagged Top Gear in it. I didn't tag the guy that actually wrote it. I didn't have enough nerve to do that.
Yeah, he'd just come back and like completely tell you a new one. So
how would he tell me a new one?
He'd tell you a new one with like facts to prove why you're wrong or something. That's normally what these people do.
Yeah, but I have all the facts and common sense, and he obviously just has ways of selling cars. That's all I can think of. Ways of selling diesel. Maybe he's got some shares in BP or something. I'm really slandering this guy, and I shouldn't really.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
There we go.
These are all your opinions, and the Monkeyseat do not share the opinions of Carl. They are his opinions and his own.
Yeah, but Tom appears. Tom probably agrees with me.
I do agree with you, to be fair.
But podcast,
I qualify that
as an entity doesn't.
Yeah, I qualify that by saying that I haven't read the article, and I'm just agreeing with your opinion because it sounds right, but I haven't actually read the article. So,
Charlie, did you get a punch up this week?
No, it's just this thing I got with now. But
all right, it just looks like you got into a fight. I was like,
ooh.
Was it with the Top Gear guy? Yeah. So how was your week, Charlie? Have we actually started yet?
No, we've not started the proper podcast. No.
Oh, this is just the bollocks before.
Sorry.
I can't
Go on, Charlie.
swear. Oh, this is painful. Charlie, it's your fault, because last week I didn't swear. Hardly at all. I'm blaming you, Charlie.
Anyway, you were about to say. Sorry, Charlie.
Oh, I was just saying up all day, so it's been up quite a week.
Charlie didn't get up until 12:30 today.
And
I remember those days. Then I had kids.
Yeah.
You've never had those days, have you, Tom?
Well, I've never had kids. No.
No, but the days of waking up to 12:30.
Oh, I was unemployed for a month before I started in this current job.
Yeah.
Went 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I take holidays occasionally. Right.
Actually, there is a time. Actually, even when you were doing nights, you were probably still up by 12:30.
Yeah, normally. Right. Have you got the list for today? The running order, Carl?
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Happy.
And every press record on every available system.
Everything is recording.
We're actually recording today.
We are. Yes.
Well,
which is always
the
a
hell
bonus.
done. You edited this. I've got no. Okay. I might not have the updated version because it says saving now and we'll create a separate version. Tom.
It says you've got unsaved changes.
I haven't. Oh yeah, I have unsaved changes.
Well, that's probably
What
just
have you
because you've changed it. I've not changed anything for ages.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right then. That's fine. It should
Literally,
be right.
since I sent it to you in WhatsApp, I've not changed it.
All right, I'm actually on the other one. Okay, who knows? Cool.
All right, well, should we start and see what happens?
Shall we start? Are we doing music and all this time?
Yeah, we'll do music and all. I figured out how to get the soundboard working again. So
well done, you.
Yay! I'll even try and do bumpers and stuff if I remember. If not, I'll put them in and post.
Yeah.
Right, let's go.
That was the first time I heard a bumper.
I did it in the previous one as well.
Yeah, but I actually listened to last week's episode.
I don't mind if we talk over this. This is just so I can line up the audio.
Yeah, it's just the poor people who are listening to YouTube are going to have to deal with this.
I need to put a Formula E sound into this. Maybe in that bit there, that little gap.
A Formula E sound. What sound
Yeah.
is Formula E? Oh,
Michael Schumacher hits David Coulthard and he's
Let's be honest, there's loads of
oh
crashes.
no,
I
you've
can
got
use.
to do the go green, and we go green in Rome.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Except we didn't go green in Rome, but it made me laugh when after a safety car.
Anyway,
we go green.
we're starting.
In Rome. Anyway.
Welcome to the Monkeyseat, the Mercedes EQ last lap of podcasts. My name is Tom.
And I'm Carl, and I am the proverbial manhole cover of the podcasts by sending everyone into a spin.
You definitely are. We are a fully independent podcast hosted by two opinionated friends who like to put the world to rights.
Visit our website, monkeyseatpod.com, and follow us on all the socials, monkeyseatpod.
You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, including YouTube, by searching for Monkeyseat Podcast.
And if you like what you hear, and even if you don't, leave us a 5-star review and we'll give you a shout out.
And today on the podcast, we have our Formula E guru, Charlie Horn. Welcome back, Charlie.
Charlie's back!
And I'd just like to start, before we just get into things.
There's a cat tail!
Yes, there is a cattail. YouTube listeners will see the cattail in the background.
There we go.
Last week, you broke up our starting sequence by saying that I screwed up. And when listening back, I didn't screw up. You said that I'd said it was an opinionated podcast. But it wasn't. I got it completely right. And then I just had to then put it in as a cut sequence at the end and make it sound like I made a mistake when I didn't. So thanks for that.
Well,
anyway.
we need to change that. I'm bored of saying that now.
Yeah, okay.
We've
We'll
got to
mix
come
it
up
up
with
a bit.
something.
Well, why don't you write something for once? If you're writing a book, you may as well come up with something.
Because I told you how busy I am before we came on air.
What? You can't write one paragraph for the monkey seat.
I wish I had bloody time. One paragraph. It's like 10 sentences.
Yeah, it's about a paragraph.
And I don't know how really... yeah, we've got to think of how to change that up. Because I think everyone's really bored with it. And everyone thinks we don't do it live, I'm sure. And actually we do that live every bloody time.
I'd say who else is bored? Charlie. Hi, Charlie. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
Charlie seems to be now now the official talker of Formula E with his backdrop there. Is that even a word?
It's a very... He looks the most professional out of all of us now with his official ABB Formula E background.
Yeah. So now I'm the Larry that doesn't even have a... I'm the Larry that doesn't even have a background anymore.
Well, you've got a background, you just don't have a green screen.
Yeah, and I vanished. Look, my ears just gone. Sorry, you can't see that on a podcast.
No.
My ears just gone. If you look, go onto YouTube and then you'll see what I'm talking about half the time.
In the show notes, we've got the YouTube link. Go and have a look. You can comment as well if you so desire. So yeah. So we had a race. We had two races, in fact, this weekend. The Rome E-Prix. We're going to first talk about the Formula E, and then we're just going to talk about what's upcoming motorsport-wise in the next couple of weeks, including the Formula One next weekend. So if we start with the Formula E for this week, then should we go straight into your race review, Charlie?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, over to you.
Okay. Is this under time pressure as well?
No, there's no sound effect. As Charlie's decided he's going to do this as two separate reviews, so I don't have a 1 minute sound effect lined up, so he's got away with it for this week.
Okay. Okay, so the race started under the safety car conditions due to the wet ground. However, this didn't stop the drama getting underway as soon as the safety car's lights went out. No sooner had things begun when the leader, Stoffel Van Dorn, and the second place, Andre Lotterer, smashed into each other at the first corner. And over the next 45 minutes, the lead changed many times to Grassi, Verne, De Vries, Rowland, Freins, all fighting for first place. And then as the car started to take the attack modes, one thing that I think we all noticed was how far through the zone the cars were entering the activation.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
More on that later, definitely. But all the while, my trusty Jaguars were making their way up the order. Some great moves from Evans and Bird.
Lucky. You missed lucky for trusty.
And eventually, the race did come down to a failure on Lucas de Grassi's Audi, which caused him to slow down. And as Van Dorn swerved to avoid him, hit a manhole cover, lost control, and then, to add insult to injury, smashed into by his teammate Nick de Vries. Then ended up under the safety car, another non-racing finish. Verne took the win, and the two Jags rounded off the podium.
At that point, that's 2 out of 3, isn't it? That we've had.
Well, this is my point. It's like if Mercedes weren't rubbish, they would be like unbeatable. because, like, seriously,
Sorry.
that's
So
out
what you're
of the
saying
first-
is if they had better drivers, they would be
No,
unbeatable.
well, to be fair, I mean, Van Dorn, I don't know what more he could have done. In
Yeah.
fairness, but equally, it's just like they seem to have like threw away. I mean, they dominated the first race. They threw away the second race with a technical issue on the power unit, and then they probably should have won the third race. And as we'll find out, they did all right in the fourth race as well. So I kind of like, I just worry that it's going to be another series dominated by Mercedes.
But that's not, because they keep screwing up.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's like as soon as they sort out those issues, are they going to be like the next all dominant force? I
but
mean,
I don't think so. It's because it's slightly spec series. You know, I don't
spec
think
aero, isn't it?
Yeah, they're not going to be as. I don't think they're as far in the lead as anyone else is going to be.
And even if you think of the last 3 years, how dominant Techeetah have been, they
Yeah.
haven't been, it's not like they've been winning every race. They've been winning maybe, in the course of like a 12-race season, they maybe won 4 or 5 races. So, there's still plenty of other teams up there doing well, and there's still always a good title fight. Unlike, well, last year there wasn't so much of a good title fight. I think Austin kind of had that one wrapped up, but I don't know. I think it'll still be quite.
I hope so. Because I mean, I think they go about things the right way and they deserve all the success they get. But I just worry that if it's going to be another series that Mercedes just basically put all the best people in. They might parachute people in from the Formula One team when the budget cap really starts ramping up, and I can just see it kind of just turning into that. But hopefully, given that it's spec aero, you're not going to have like the development race as so much as you have in other series. So hopefully we won't get that. And plus, with Jaguar doing so well after Carl was ripping you for supporting Jaguar at the start of the season, it's.
I know I've not done too well here, am I? Picking my fights.
No. What teams was it? I think I was Mercedes, you were Techeetah, Carl, and obviously Charlie, you were Jaguar. I mean, I
was quite happy this weekend. Yeah, that's actually more of a race too, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was quite happy this weekend. But I think I don't know what the standings are. We'll talk about that in a bit. But let's go with this race. Let's just talk about race one. What the safety car? Oh, the safety car! It's got a roof.
Oh, roof it does.
And it's on Formula E tires, which is hilarious.
So it's like the same tires that the cars are on. Is that right?
Yeah, it's on the same tires. But they had them on that show I won't mention anymore because they dissed into Extreme E. They had the Mini E, which they raced around Alton Towers, and it has those stupid wheels on the Formula E. But actually, these wheels, the actual wheels on this look amazing, and actually I quite like the car. I know we all laughed when we saw it first of all, but at least it's got a roof, and at least it's
got a roof.
Well, can you imagine if it didn't have a roof? They would have been soaks this time.
Oh god! But it was hardly raining. I don't understand why we were starting behind the safety car.
I think it was raining more than you saw, Tom, because when you look at Sam Bird's eye view that they love, you could definitely see rain on his visor coming in.
It always looks worse. If you think about it, you're driving into that rain and you're going at quite a high speed, so a little bit of rain feels like a torrential downpour when you're driving.
Yeah.
And also, before they actually had 2 i8 safety cars. They had one with a roof and one without a roof. They just picked which one they wanted to run based on weather conditions. So there was a roofed i8 which they could have run. I know you'll be disappointed to hear this, but there was a roofed one. There was a roofed option, but it wasn't used because they thought the roofless one looked so much better.
It never looked better.
I don't understand
it.
what your problem is with a convertible safety car.
It wasn't convertible, it was hacked off. A convertible safety car has a windscreen. Let's just clarify that. A convertible safety car has a windscreen.
It wasn't the only thing that was hacked off. You were pretty hacked off as well.
Anyway, I'll stop going on about it, but I like the new Mini. And I think that's why they decided to drive around with it, because they need to show it off. I bet you there is some weird clause that it has to come out 3 times or something. And they've just gone, right, we don't know what's happening with the season. Let's put them all at the beginning and then let's guarantee it. happens out there. You know, has to be seen 20 times or something stupid for so many minutes. So anyway, it's got a safety car.
Why was it necessary to start behind the safety car? Because I said it to you in a group chat at the time. I didn't see why it was necessary to start behind the safety car. But do you want to educate me, Charlie?
No, I'm no expert myself, but I believe the reason is probably down to the high levels of acceleration from the Formula E cars on the wet track, which I imagine would make it easier for them to spin. I'm guessing here, but
exactly,
that's my best guess.
I mean, that's that track looks like a man that's blind and drunk has been down it, hacked off random bits on it. It's such a bad racetrack, you know. It doesn't feel very level at all. There's manhole covers everywhere. Like, it just feels like, I know they've gone into these places and gone, oh, we're doing it in the city. And I don't know how many of them are exactly like that. But it's sort of a bit like, oh, we're going to go into the city and we're going to start just...
Does it not seem like slightly odd to you, like, that they can have a raised manhole cover that can cause a crash and that's okay?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that's okay or not.
The same thing has happened in Formula One though, because I can't remember which race, but a couple of years ago, a manhole cover came loose. I think it was Romain Grosjean had it, and
George Russell had it as well.
That was the edge, wasn't
Baku.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, George Russell, but that is different to a manhole cover being sucked up from the downforce to a manhole cover that's just there, that they came offline and hit it.
But did you see? It was like a patchwork. It was literally, the track was a patchwork of just random bits of tarmac that made no sense. And I'm just like, okay, I get.
Because it's normal roads, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's normal roads. I get that, but you're putting fast cars on these roads. Surely you have to look at the safety aspects and have at least a track that's not a patchwork of multi-layered and why, like, they must have a really speed turnaround, because I know there's not as many white lines. No, I don't think there's any white lines on any F1 racetrack that are
you do
lines.
Yeah, you get them on the street circuits. They try and cover them up as best they can, but
they don't even attempt to in Rome. There's no attempt to covering anything up. It's just left as white lines, and off we go to slip slide all over them.
The difference in speed is quite substantial, though. So I think it's less important to.
Well, it's not
less.
I don't think it is less important when we saw that many crashes from white lines and manhole covers. I don't think it is less important, and they are going for it, these drivers. There's nothing. I
suppose there is a lot of talk in them, isn't it? Obviously, and with no gears, it's just all talk and
yeah.
They're all talk.
It just goes. So yeah, it was a bit of a, and so we spoke about it just now. The attack zones, like.
Should we get onto the attack zones when that was a bit more relevant? Because that was kind of across both weekends, wasn't it? So I think we will pick up on the attack zones at the end, but that's more of kind of like a
shot down
related. Yeah, I would like to talk about, like, the before the race even started, the crash in practice. Who was it? It was
missed it.
Oliver Turvey, wasn't it?
Yeah, Turvey. I don't really know what happened. I didn't watch practice, but I just saw the replays of it later. But
it looked like no one actually really caught it, did they? There was no real camera angles for it.
There was just a shot looking down the line of the cars, and all of a sudden you just see him come out of nowhere and smash people to pieces. So I'm not really sure what happened there.
Everyone was lining up doing a practice start, and then he comes barreling around the last corner, wants to check a flag's gone, and just ploughed into him. I mean, what was the penalty? Do you remember what the penalty was? I know there was a penalty awarded.
I think it was just a grid drop. I can't remember though.
Yeah, I know it was quite a hefty penalty from what I remember hearing. I listened to qualifying, but I didn't see the practice crash. I only saw the replays like yourself later on. But yeah, I mean, that's. I can't remember whose onboard it was, but the onboard you just saw this. He was just sitting there ready to do his practice start, and then all of a sudden this car in pieces just rolls in front of him, just from nowhere.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was. Who was it? I can't remember. It might have been because Verne got taken out by it, and who else was it? Was it Rast?
I remember.
No, there was. Yeah, but there's 3 cars taken out: Turvey, Verne, and someone else. And obviously, Verne then couldn't take part in qualifying as a result. I believe he couldn't take part in qualifying, or was it just practice? Was it just practice he couldn't take part in?
It must have just been practice because Verne was in qualifying, was he not? If I'm getting rid
Sorry, I've just seen it. I've just seen the crash. That's brilliant. Like, he literally does a pirouette. Just comes in and does a pirouette in front of everyone.
Yeah, with no wheels.
Like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Whee! Sorry, that is quite funny.
Yeah, Verne was in qualifying. I'm just double checking that. Yeah, he made it to qualifying.
Okay, fine. Yeah, he must have been second practice then. He missed, but yeah, I mean it's a good recovery from him then to obviously to miss so much running in practice too and still get into qualifying and still have a decent race. But yeah, so I mean I commented at the time Lotterer. I mean he had a lot of bad luck during the race, but he was just at it. He was just kept going and going, and some of those overtakes and some of those attempts he was making, he was looked a little bit ragged, a little bit crazy at times. I know he's a very experienced guy, but yeah, very.
I mean, Lotterer and Bird were both going for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed in the notes that Bird just seemed to be constantly overtaking, but didn't seem to be getting anywhere in the early stages of the race. I mean, obviously he
started off quite far back, didn't he?
Yeah, do you remember where he started, Charlie? Or
Bird. 12th,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Bird, yeah. 10th?
10th, yeah. He was quite far back.
So I've just got a cable in the way. I'm just moving it.
God. Let's stop everyone while Tom moves his cables.
Sorry, I got my foot caught on it, and I didn't want to pull the microphone out of the stand or something. But yeah, no, he's every time I saw Bird, he seemed to be overtaking somebody, but didn't seem to be moving up the standings. And it was only sort of towards the end when obviously we had the double retirement that he popped into the podium. But no, the boy can overtake, can't he? He's
And in the most strangest of places. Actually, who did that really strange? There was one that did really strange. I don't know even which race it is.
Well, in race 2, there was Roland.
Roland that did it on the hairpin.
We'll get onto that, I think, when we get onto race 2.
All right, sorry, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
That's the problem with them, because there's no difference whatsoever between the two races, and they're back to back. They almost do blur into one in some ways, especially as they both started behind the safety car. You know. And it was just like, they do sort of blur slightly.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Obviously, there's not really enough time to do anything about it, but it'd be nice if they could do something. You know, if they had like LCD advertising boards, they could just change the advertising for the second race or something. But you know,
just
would be
to
nice.
make it, or just
to look different. But...
or just reverse the track or something. There must be some way of doing it.
Yeah, like in
I know that's what they did in Berlin, didn't they?
Yeah.
So just reverse the grid in Berlin.
Yeah. So
cool.
should we move on to race 2 then?
Right. Okay, so race 2 again began behind the safety car, obviously because of we already talked about that. And again, the race leader was out before it even got underway, pretty much. After not even one lap. Although all credit to him, he did manage a good race back through the field until Roland then made sure that he would never manage to finish in the points, and he kind of spent the rest of the time around the back. The weekend was worse for Degrassi on that day. He crashed into the wall, and that was it. He was out of the race. Full course yellow out. A few more notable performances. Stoffel Van Dorn, the eventual race winner. Sims, good overtakes from him. Oliver Roland, even though he did get that penalty for that Casti crash, he did do actually quite a number of good overtakes until he crashed out at the end. The Costa, fantastic from him, moved up from 15th to 6th, I believe, maybe higher than that. Could be wrong. Obviously, I am biased, but Evans and Bird both did a good job until, again, Bird out at the end. And it was Rennie Rast who hit the wall near the end, brought out the safety car, which meant that we only had one final lap of racing, and De Vries, Bird and Roland all caught out in one final lap incident, ended their hopes for points. And as he crossed the line, Norman Nato, who had actually, I thought, done a pretty good job to manage to stay up in the podium positions throughout the whole race, ran out of energy, and he was disqualified, leaving Van Dorn with the win and Sims and Verline finishing out the podium.
Oh, so he's actually disqualified in the end, was he?
Yeah, there's always a disqualification if you run out of energy. So.
Okay, I didn't know what happened. I know that it was it went to like 0.1% and he was still going, and I thought, well, how was he going to get around the rest of the lap on 0.1%?
There must be some actual percentage that he's allowed to drive around.
Yeah, well, they've
Yeah,
still got.
it doesn't just die, but it's like once you hit that limit, then
Yeah, because this is one thing that I'm still not completely sold on with Formula E. Just the fact that they're running behind the safety car and they just take away a load of energy because they're all like on 20% left, and then the last lap started, they all dropped down to 7%.
Yeah.
So there's still plenty of energy left in the car. He just overused what he was allocated. So, I mean, how do we feel about that in general? Are we for or against that rule?
I think it's a good system. I mean, it clearly works for them. So, I mean,
I think, but you're not going to need all that energy to sit behind a safety car.
because that's what we saw.
If you suddenly end up with 20%, the chances are everyone then gun-hos it mad.
Exactly. That's what we saw in season 5 whenever there would be full horse or anything, because they didn't have that rule back then. Everybody and they'd build up energy from not using it, and then
Yeah, see, for me that takes away a strategic element, because I thought, I mean, it's there for a reason. So I put good faith in the fact they've done it for a reason, but just finding out now that it has been a rule in the past that they've obviously got rid of now, there probably is a reason for it. But for me, like in other motorsports, when you spend time behind the safety car, you save your tyres, you save your fuel, and then you use that strategically to your advantage towards the later stages of the race. So if you decide to start off going gung-ho using too much energy, and then you luck into a safety car, save up the energy, and then you're able to push harder at the end of the race as well. That's kind of like adds a strategic element, but obviously if you're saying that it's something that they've...
A lot of those they're on, Formula 1 and Formula 2 and such likes that you're talking about. The reason that it's not such a problem is because 95% of the time you're on decent runoff tracks, and even in city places, it's definitely more planned and cleverer than what the Formula E track is, which is basically street circuits surrounded by fencing, realistically, with random runoffs, which
walls.
They always seem to like a runoff in Formula E. They always find them. I don't know how, but they always seem to go into them. It's whether it's well planned or what, but they always seem to find them, even if they have no power, like Lucas de Grassi just managed to find. Had no drive shaft.
Was it the first race? No, I think it was the second race. Was it with Van Dorn and Cassidy? Was it the first race? There was the leaders. This is the problem. You get confused. The lead two cars had a collision on one of the early corners, and then one went off down the escape road. I never saw him come back on. I'm sure it was Van Dorn. Didn't see him come back on. He seemed to go off in a different direction to everyone else, and yet he was still back in. So was there like a relief road which then linked back into the circuit
or something?
I have no idea.
Or he just spun round and went on, eventually spun off.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because he definitely... I can't remember who it was. Was it Roland? I can't remember now. I need to look at it again.
I mean, Roland was just crashing into everyone.
Yeah. Actually, yes.
He got attack mode and then just went, drive! And just seemingly crashed into everyone. And poor Cassidy got the brunt of it.
Yeah, poor Cassidy.
Yeah.
But he did put himself in that position by just throwing it away on the first corner.
Wee-hoo! Let's go for a spin. Straight down the slip road again. I was like, oh, what are you doing?
Because he's still got no points, has he, either? He was... I felt really bad for him, actually, because I was going to give him... I mean, I know it doesn't really make an awful lot of difference. I was going to vote for him for fan boost, but then I said to you, within a few seconds, I was like, I'm glad I didn't put him down for fan boost.
I forgot to do fan boost. I thought it came up in the app.
This week for some reason. I don't know why, but...
It wasn't on for race 3, I don't think. It was only race 4 it came in for.
Oh, really?
I don't know, but I couldn't get it to work.
No, I couldn't get it to work either.
I got it working. As I say, I got it working for race 4, but it didn't seem to be there for race 3 for some reason.
Right, come on then. Let's talk about attack modes because they're really winding me up.
Go on then.
What's going on? I always thought you had to go past the red line and then the blue line, and that was the attack mode thing. That was like in Germany and Berlin. You definitely had to go because I noticed a number of them didn't go through the first line, second line. But I think it was Roland. I might be very wrong.
Yeah,
just
go like
completely missed everything, hit the blue line and got it.
Yeah.
That's weird because have they not got sensors in the car?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, the common misconception is that those lines represent the actual attack zone. They're just there for a sort of rough guide. But it's actually 3 sensors on the track, which aren't necessarily right on the lines. So the teams will have done the track walk. They'll have worked out where the sensors are, and they'll have worked out that you can get away with a certain amount of cutting the as the zone as a viewer.
And probably you had to go slightly further on the other side beyond the blue line
to pick up the sensors. So, I mean, I've been planned out by the teams, I imagine, because we didn't. It wasn't just Rowlands. He was definitely the standout for me. He did go like halfway through before he went in. But
I think it was just because Roland was on his own, and it was quite obvious a shot of just him completely missing it.
But there was lots of other people that went in before the start of what looks like the start of the zone. So I think that's.
And are those blue and red lines? They're actually painted on the ground, but that flashy coloured lights obviously not there. That's AI.
Yeah, that's just a graphic.
So obviously it probably depends on where they can get the decent camera position from as well.
Yeah.
To really put that in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's a COVID thing, but they just don't seem to have enough cameras there because the amount of things they're missing. I find like obviously we didn't get a good view of Lynn's crash, and we didn't in the first race we didn't get a good view of a lot of stuff. But it's like it seems to be able to capture what's happening during the race, but at key moments the cameras don't seem to be able to catch a lot of stuff. And I think it might just be a COVID thing.
I think it's a COVID thing, but it's also a position of where you can put people on that track.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, potentially
as well. So yeah, and bearing in mind that this is pretty much the first year, and I might be very wrong, where it's landed on BBC Two, which they only did one race of, which really annoyed me. Like either do it or don't do it, but it's sort of where it's more available.
One of my biggest criticisms of Formula E over the years, like when I've tried, this is the first year where I've actually followed Formula E properly, so I am still a complete novice when it comes to Formula E. This is why you're here, Charlie, because I just don't know anything. But it's my biggest criticism has always been I've tried to get into Formula E and I can never find out when it's on, and it's like the website says when it's on, and then I seem to spend about 20 minutes like clicking on the links on the website on the how to watch section, which is great, and it gives you all these listings of things where you can watch it. But then I go onto the iPlayer or I go onto the website. Can I find it?
I've worked this one out now. If you go onto BBC, now that it's on BBC, go onto BBC iPlayer,
go to sport.
Type in Formula E.
No, it didn't find it.
Up.
Didn't find it.
It didn't, because it came up with me as well. It came up with the practice again, and then it's actually weirdly below it saying live. I was like, this is so unhelpful.
Yeah, BBC.
The way I found
the place that I go. I've been watching it online. BBC Sport always have it.
Yeah, I've got the because I tend to the races I'll watch on my TV when I'm at home, if I'm home, but the other sessions I tend to listen to while I'm at work.
Yeah.
So I've got the BBC Sport app on my phone, and like at start time I'm then like frantically looking around trying to find it at the start of qualifying, trying to find a stream. And it's like if it's IndyCar or Formula 1 or Formula 2 or Formula 3, you just look up on the listings, it says when it's on, and then I just start listening to it when it's on. And it just seems like Formula 3 don't want me to watch because I can never find it when I want to.
Yeah.
And I just find it's just a bit of a ball ache, really. But then, like, we get to Extreme E, brand new sport, started last weekend, and it was perfect. I wanted to watch it. I typed it into the app, found it, played it, done, easy. And it just seems like Extreme E have done in one weekend what Formula E have failed to do. And I think you need to look at BBC, because I think they need to make a better job of it. Frankly, I don't think it's good enough. They need to advertise it a bit more. They need to make it a bit more accessible, because as I say, I'm fairly tech savvy, and when it comes to stuff like that, you should be able to find it. And just typing in Formula E into the app and you can't find it, it's not good enough.
It's really weird. I mean, I found Extreme E completely on YouTube. I don't know if Formula E is live on YouTube, but that made so much sense.
Practice sessions are, I think, but
yeah, practice and qualifying, I think is. But
it must be an advertising thing then, and Extreme E haven't got.
YouTube, but kind of
because that was great about Extreme E is you could just watch on YouTube and it was live.
Yeah.
And
but
I've never used the BBC app, but I don't think I've ever had a problem with finding Formula E. But
so once again, we're slandering the BBC and how useless they are. Brilliant, we're doing well.
I actually really like the BBC as a broadcasting company. I like the BBC. I'm a big BBC fan. But
once again, BBC, you're doing it all wrong.
But no. So just to go back to Extreme E, there. I mean, Extreme E was available on every platform. Like it was on Sky, BBC, ITV. It was everywhere. Like I'd say YouTube.
The one time I have had a bad experience with BBC with Formula E was one time we were on holiday and we didn't have any Wi-Fi or anything, so there was no like alternate way of watching it. We just had the TV, and then the BBC said that it was going to be on the red button, and the red button was actually went on
useless,
and they were showing snooker. There was snooker on, but it was Formula E on after the snooker. But by the time the snooker was done, like Formula E was like halfway through. So.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they play one of the races on BBC Two. Was it the first race on BBC Two? I can't remember now. But then it was only one of them on BBC. It's just.
I think the reason for that though was because it was only very recently announced that it was a double header in Rome.
Yeah,
so I think in advance, far in advance. I assume they did the scheduling far in advance. So
yeah, I think that's something to do with why you couldn't do the fan boost as well. Because,
sorry, Prince Philip died, and they managed to clear the whole schedule.
Yeah, but
that's far more important. This is far more important than an old man dying who's 99.
Yeah,
that's a bigger thing than Formula E, though. So.
To be fair, it's a global event.
Yeah,
So is Formula E.
Well, yes, but a lot more people know Prince Philip.
It was literally on BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV, full on all day about a man that had died.
Yeah,
I get if it was programs about him and things about him, and I get that, but it was literally the news just going, he's dead.
30 years from now, people are not going to look back and say, Rome, season 7, whatever.
Yeah.
They're not going to say that. They're going to have forgotten about it by then.
So can you imagine how many people would complain?
I look forward to in 30 years' time coming back to this program. Do you remember, Tom, when we had that young lad Charlie on? And saying we wouldn't remember.
Do you seriously think we're going to be doing this podcast in 30 years' time?
Can you imagine? We'd be the Murray Walker of podcasts.
I very much doubt we'll be doing this podcast in 30 years' time. But if we are...
Optimistic there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't imagine me being a podcaster at 70.
No, you'd be like the Silver Surfer podcaster. That'd be cool.
Anyway.
I'll only be 64, so I'm still in my prime. I'm still working.
Yeah. In 30 years, Charlie will be 35, won't you? Anyway, so another safety car start. I hate safety car starts, but yeah, I think we've already kind of covered that and why. And fine, safety, blah blah blah. Okay, fine. Last lap.
Another reason to get out the Mini that has a roof.
Yeah, last lap, Mortara. Of course, do you think? I think it was the Mortara mistake where he did the squirrely amazing save, big squirrel, kept like really aggressive defense, holding his position, brilliantly done. But I'm pretty sure that's what caused the pile up behind the three guys.
Of course, it did. Yeah, everyone just trying to work out what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, the three guys were all watching each other, and then didn't react to the slow cars ahead where Mortara had been defending. But pretty epic end to the race. It's like it
wasn't, because then it turned into a safety car. That was really dull. They didn't even go over the line without a safety car.
No, they did. It was just it was yellow flagged. It wasn't safety car because it was the last lap.
I thought it was safety car.
No, the first race finished under safety car.
No, the second one was one lap after the second.
Yeah, and then the first race was finished under safety car.
Yeah.
So I remember watching it, and I remember saying to Emily, it's just like, well, it just seems that every race seems to start or finish behind the safety car, or sometimes both. like the first race. I think Sims, as you said in your review, another great race from here. That's the best I've seen Alexander Sims racing. As I said, I'm new to the sport.
He was really good, wasn't he? He was really
good. He was a standard.
Although he does look like an English teacher.
He does look very boring, I'm pretty sure.
Geography teacher, surely.
Yeah, geography. And goes, he's got like the.
He's not. He's got. Yeah.
He's got the Lego hair and the perfect beard that matches his hair perfectly, and then the glasses and everything. He looks like. Yeah, he looks like he's going to teach you some things.
He's an advert for Specsavers as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Whereas Verline just looks like a bit of a. Yeah, I'm not going to say that word on YouTube, but yeah.
There's quite a few that look a bit like.
What do we think of Pascal Verline as a driver? How long's he been in Formula E, Charlie? Is his second year?
Third year. That's his
third year. Is he any good? Because I'm not convinced by him.
It seems like whenever it's time for him to step up and do the work, he never really seems to get it done. I don't think he's that good, but it's open to debate. I mean,
Who's he drive for?
Porsche now, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hendrick.
Yeah, yeah. It just he looked like he was going to be the next best thing in Formula One at one point. Obviously, part of the Mercedes team.
How did that end?
Yeah, well, he got a reputation for being Princess Pascal, was his nickname in Formula One, because he just. To be fair, he did break his back in the Race of Champions, which is why he missed a couple of rounds. But people didn't know he was breaking his back.
That's not an excuse.
Yeah, but I've just noticed actually he's got number 99, which is the number he had in Formula One as well.
It's obviously his number.
Yeah, but yeah, I was never really convinced by him in Formula One, and then in Formula E, it's the same. It just goes to show the standard of driving in Formula E, that someone can be, show promise but not quite have it in Formula One, then be in the same position in Formula E. Stoffel Van Dorn was supposed to be incredible, but just got destroyed by Alonso, and I don't think McLaren really treated him very well. And then Mercedes picked him up, and he seems to be able to do the business, and his teammate De Vries as well looked like he was going to make it to Formula One, but then didn't, and again seems to be very good.
It's basically the B team, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the Mercedes the two drivers for Mercedes EQ are the two rejected McLaren young drivers. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, so looking at the standings then, after 4 races now, was it you said, Carl, that Jaguar wouldn't do any good? Top of the pile is Sam Bird on 43 points. Mitch Evans is second on 39. So currently it's Jaguar 1-2 at the top of the table.
Who?
Robin Freins he's dropped down one place, but he's in third with 34 points. Stoffel Van Dorn up to fourth with 33. Nick De Vries drops behind his teammate with 32 points. Pascal Wehrlein up level with De Vries on 32, but De Vries, I'm assuming, is ahead by virtue of the fact that he has a race win. Eduardo Mortara on 30. John-Eric Verne back into the mix there with 25 with his win. Alexander Sims up to 9th. And then Antonio Felix da Costa with 21 points, tied with René Rast in 10th. It's it's the same point system as Formula 1 effectively, isn't it? So it's tight.
Slightly different though, slightly different, because in qualifying you get
points.
Point for pole, 3 points. So 3 points for pole, 1 point for group qualifying.
Yeah, and then you get a point for the fastest lap as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's looking tight. I mean, four races down, and there's 4 points between first and second.
We lost Carl.
Oh, we have lost Carl. Oh well, no harm, no foul. I'll just wait for him to come back in. Yeah, okay, bye, Carl. He's obviously really upset with the fact that Jaguar are 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll come back in a moment. Yeah, let's wait for Carl, shall we? Let's be nice to him. Hi, live stream. How is everyone? Everyone being not very many people by the looks of things. I think it's a bad time to be live streaming, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, probably.
Right, Carl's just coming back in now. Well, any minute now, apparently.
I'm back!
Look, we know Jaguar are winning, but you don't have to walk out of the room and slam the door behind you.
I don't like Jags.
Oh well, welcome back.
Sorry, look, I'm not even gonna tell you. You can find out all what happened, because I talked all the way through that on your site.
I'll find out when I get the audio then, won't I?
You'll find out when you get the audio.
Excellent. I look forward to that.
What happened?
I wonder what the outtake at the end of the episode is going to be this week then.
Carl talking to himself. Literally talking to himself. Sorry, everyone. I do apologize.
I didn't notice either. Charlotte was like, Carl's gone.
Thanks.
Dear. Anyway.
Carl hasn't made a comment in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Carl hasn't sworn for a while, so. Anyway, where were we?
You're talking about.
Say again, Charlie. Sorry.
I don't know.
No.
You were talking about how rubbish Jaguar were. Actually, you did the standings. I'm sure you.
Yeah,
did the
I
standings.
think we pretty much just finished the standings, so we'll just pick it up from the end of the standings.
There you go.
Where are we in the teams championship? I'm sure I've got that here somewhere.
I've got it up if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it. You give us a rundown on the teams championship.
Number one is of course the
La 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 la.
Jaguar with 82 points. Second is Mercedes with 65. Third, Techeetah with 46. Fourth in division, 37. Fifth is Porsche with 32. Sixth, Venturi, 31. Seventh, Mahindra with 28. Eighth, Audi, 27. Nissan, 26. 10th is Dragon, 24. 11th, Neo, 14. And dead last is BMW with only 12 points.
Wow, so Neo are ahead of BMW. That's that's.
Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 4 races in. How many races are we looking at for the season? Do you think?
So what else have we got? We've got Valencia coming up in a couple of weeks' time.
And that's a double header as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's another 2 at least. Then we've got what else have we got?
I think that's all they've got confirmed.
I think so.
That's all they've got confirmed at the moment. I mean,
how many more do I think there'll be? Oh no, we've got a few more planned. We've got Monaco, May 8th. We've got Marrakesh, May 22nd.
Oh yes.
Double header, June 5th and 6th. So we've got a few more penciled in. So just wait and see, I guess.
How many do we normally have in a season? Given this is my first season following it.
12 in season 5, which was the last proper season we've had. I think it was 11 last year with the 6 in Berlin.
Okay, so there's not actually that many then. I thought there was more than that.
So yeah, we've got 10 penciled in. So we've had 4 already. So another 6. So maybe another 2 if we're going to have more, but it could end and you'd have a pretty full season then, even if it did end in Chile.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have to make it a bona fide world championship. It needs to be 8, doesn't it? That's what we all found out last year with the whole COVID situation. You need to get
the world's
at least 8
opening
races
up.
in.
I think you will get your 8.
Yeah, I think we'll get. I mean,
Especially we're on 4 already.
Yeah, and with Valencia's a double header, and then we've got at least another 3 or 4 planned in. So I mean, I think they'll just make it all the races double headers until they stop it.
Yeah, it mustn't.
Apart from Monaco, obviously that won't be a double header. Interesting.
Which will be a definite if Monaco doesn't go ahead for Formula E. I very much doubt Monaco will go ahead for Formula 1. Actually, there was a random question, which was, are Formula E not as stringent with their COVID rules? Which I thought was interesting.
Yes, we had a listener text in about this.
Right.
Yeah, saying, are they not as stringent with their COVID rules because the paddocks, they're all over each other in the paddock. But then I was thinking actually, but the teams are smaller. So
well, they were saying at the podium, they announced and said, so the winner can have 20 people at the podium celebration, and second and third can have 10 people each at the celebrations.
Yeah.
So that's still like 40 odd people in a very small space. But
yeah, so it's interesting to.
I
wonder what their rules are as to why.
Yeah, I mean, they do all have to have negative tests and the bubbles, and they all have to stay in the paddock. And so, I mean, in terms of any of them actually getting COVID, it's very, very unlikely. We saw the same thing in Formula 1 paddock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Formula 1, given it's a bit more of a global reach, needs to be seen to be doing more. I think it's more kind of that we all know that if you've got a negative test and you've isolated and you're in your bubbles and stuff, then you probably don't even need to wear masks, to be honest. But they have to be seen to be wearing masks, and they have to be seen to be social distancing. And I think they're all acting in a COVID-safe way because of their bubbles and their testing and everything, and isolating.
We never saw teams coming together and everyone hugging and jumping around at the podium anyway last year. So yeah, I mean, it's not like we didn't see that. We did see that. It's the same thing.
Yeah. No, I disagree. I do think they're very similar rules that they're sticking to. I mean, you could probably say that the Formula 1 and Formula 2 are probably doing slightly more, but I think they're still operating to the same guidelines. The perception is they're doing more in the other motorsports. But Yeah, no, the other thing I think we want to speak about was the energy and power overuse issue. Was it Roland got a? No, it wasn't Roland. Was it Roland?
It was Nato got stopped.
Nato, yeah, he got a penalty for energy overuse, and who was it? They spun up their wheels in the first race and then got a penalty for peaking.
Was it Roland? I think it was Roland.
I think it was Roland. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I can understand the energy overuse thing, which we've kind of already covered, but the whole kind of peak energy thing, I think. Do you not think that's a little bit harsh?
It is. It is. I think it should be. I mean, seeing as the FIA can clearly control power output from the cars and things by you've got attack mode, which gives you extra power. You've got like qualifying and go into extra power. So I reckon they should just take a little bit of power away for a short period of time. If you overuse your energy, could there be some way where you could get less power to make up for the more power that you did use?
Yeah,
well, rather than having to have like a drive-through penalty, which just ruins your race,
Yeah, it's
especially
huge,
it's not
penalty.
really, it's not your fault. You're not tried to use more power. You just spun the wheels.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not you gain anything from doing it either, is it? You've actually lost from it because you've used energy in an inefficient way.
Exactly.
It just seems like such a random rule.
Yeah, I mean, even if they really wanted to police it, I know, like in iRacing, if you take a shortcut, instead of giving you a penalty, they limit your speed for 10 seconds or for 5 seconds, so you can only go at a certain speed for a certain period of time. So they could do.
The rule obviously has to be there because if the team found a way to increase the power output or something and actually could gain an advantage from it, then you'd have to have a rule in there to cover that. But it's like in the small situation like what we do see, nobody ever purposely tries to use more power, So that's all.
And I think it needs to be looked at on a case by case basis because if you've got, you can look at it and say, well, it's a slippery track, it's a bumpy track. You're going to have wheels off the ground. The differential is going to allow wheels to spin faster in certain situations. So, I think it's got to be done on a case by case basis. You just submit that to the stewards for review, and they say, well, clearly it's because of the conditions. And then if it continues to happen, then fine. But if it's just one instance of someone going over a bump and a wheel spinning up, then I don't see why that. As you said, drive-through penalty. The punishment definitely does not fit the crime. Kind of harks back to the old days when. In Formula One, where if you'd make a minor indiscretion and get a 10-second stop and go penalty, which just ruins your race, loses you effectively like thick end of 40 seconds over like one tiny error. Yeah. That's why they brought in things like the 5-second time penalty and things, just because like it's penalty worthy, but it shouldn't ruin your race. And it was a real shame for Roland. He had a decent race, but he got taken out of both races through really no fault of his own. I know he had obviously he had his penalty for his overtaking, which I think was probably fair. He was
smashing into the wall.
Yeah. He had one wheel alongside the rear wheel. That was not overtaking, but yeah. So what do you reckon then for driver of the day? Let's have a little debate. So driver of the weekend this is then. So who do we think for driver of the weekend? Do you want to make a nomination, Charlie?
Very hard to look past Van Dorn, I would say. Winner of the race, was really strong in the first race till his crash through no fault of his own.
Yeah.
He was Van Dorn.
Yeah.
Sims
did well in race 2. Yeah. I mean, I think Birds, had two good races overall.
We can't have a Jag.
Again, taken out in second race through no fault of his own. I think Jean-Eric Verne is in the conversation. Yep. For his, despite having his crash, we'd lost loads of practice time, still came through to win a race.
To be honest, the Jags were very good
They
were. But I agree with you. Van Dorn was in probably the most consistent out of the two. So I think Van Dorn will get my vote.
Yeah, there we go then. I'm outvoted on that one. So I mean, Van Dorn seems a very sensible.
It depends. Are you definitely going with Van Dorn, or have you got something else you want to go for, Charlie?
No, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will go for Van Dorn then for driver of the day, driver of the weekend. Right, dig of the weekend.
The track. Full stop.
You could nominate Roland for his push on.
Roland, actually. No, yeah. I suppose. Yeah.
There's quite Roland. A few like
Lotterer.
Well, no, I don't think lost. I think it's. I look at the group, and I don't really think anyone's been a dick. There's been a couple of mistakes. There's been some driving standards, but no one's really kind of
no one was really a dick.
Thrown it. The closest would probably be Roland for throwing it up the inside of Cassidy when he was actually doing quite a good job of recovering.
Not screwing himself over.
Oliver Turvey? For his
no
practice
one really
crash?
knows what happened with that. That's the problem.
He just ploughed into the back of everyone when they were doing practice starts when he shouldn't have been going fast.
I think he just forgot that he was meant to be doing a practice start.
I'm gonna
and just flew into him.
I'm going to nominate Turvey just because that was a big safety issue.
That was pretty reckless, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the full story behind it, but Turvey's going to be my vote for that.
I think we'll go with Turvey because I don't think I could go with Stewart and track again.
Yeah. No, we got to like at least kind of have a fight, so we don't just have Stewards at the end of the season is Dick of the season. Actually,
Stewards did nothing wrong this time.
Yeah, he was fine.
Nothing wrong.
Apart from the safety car start, but I understand that.
But the safety car thing makes me laugh, especially when it's in full course yellows and they go, and we're starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're green. It's just
I like the fact that the race director talks to the drivers.
Yeah,
direct. I really like that.
I do too, but it just makes me laugh. Just the way.
Who was it? Who was it who nailed the restart? And was it someone
Sims, wasn't it?
Was it Sims? On the restart, he just passed someone who was completely napping. It may have been Verline, past Verline.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Sims, wasn't it? It was absolutely completely napping, and then just blew it up, just put the foot down and went for it. I'm sure it's Sims. Maybe I'm wrong. Charlie?
I can't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I think it was Sims.
Absolutely threw it up. It was great. Great. Although the presenters on the commentators making me laugh and he's sending it up. That sort of seems to be their little phrase this year. Sending it up. Oh no, what is it? Actually, it's something else. Anyway, there we go. A useless story there. Grand, well done.
Okay, so next up we got Valencia. That's in a couple of weeks' time. 24th and 25th of April.
Boat turning up for some unknown reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're just going to offload Veloce to be repaired, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Valencia on the 24th and 25th of April, 11 days' time. It's 11 days, 8 hours and 42 minutes. Depending on when you're listening to this podcast, that might be wrong.
That's going to be very wrong.
Yeah. As from right now.
No one's going to listen to this podcast anywhere near.
Well, they could be on the live stream.
No one's on the live stream.
No, there's not many people on there, to be fair. But anyway, so that's all good. Looking forward to that, and we'll kind of see where that goes from there. Is there anything else we want to talk about Formula E-wise, or should we move on to other sports?
Let's move on.
I think we should move on. I think
cool. Cool. Okay, so we've got IndyCar is back next weekend, the Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama, so you can start to fall asleep, Carl. It's at Barber Motorsports Park. Well, I'm not even sure you know about this, Carl, but I'm going to be on the Grip Strip podcast this week. It's due to the time delay. I'm going to be recording at 4 a.m. with Philip, and because that's the only time that we can both do, because that's the time that obviously.
When on which day?
Thursday morning at 4 a.m. and then I'm going to go straight to work when I finish the podcast.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, nuts. I know.
What is wrong with you? Yeah. I've just signed up to Sunday's Grid Talk.
Oh, you have? Cool. Nice one. That's good. And yeah, so yeah, catch up with the Grip Strip podcast if you want to hear that. That'll be out probably sort of Thursday, Friday sometime. He covers all motorsport. He's going to come on our podcast as well, but again, similar issue with the time delay. We're probably going to record his segment at a similar time, so we'll probably just do a drop in for the IndyCar review next week.
I'm meant to be getting up at 4 a.m. at some point.
No, what I'm saying is we'll record it with Phil, do it as a drop in, and record all the time, so you don't have to get up at 4 a.m, because I know you're falling asleep at the best of times when it comes to IndyCar, so...
Yeah, I probably am not going to be the best person to have this discussion. But
Yeah.
that's fine.
So I'll just do the race review with Phil on the after that race, and we'll just do it as a drop in, so you don't have to fall asleep with it. So that's IndyCar. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing how things go. I think it's going to be an interesting season. I think McLaren's looking good. I think Pato O'Ward could be a possible chance for the championship. Your favourite, Willpower, I think will have a better season. I think Rossi is going to have a point to prove. Of course, yeah, Dixon's still in it.
Do we reckon what's his chops from Formula One's going to do anything?
Who are you
Is
talking
he in
about?
this week?
Oh, what Grosjean?
Grosjean? Is he in this one?
Yeah, he'll be it. Yeah, he'll be in
road
this one.
track, isn't it?
I think so. Or is it an oval? I can't remember, to be honest. Don't know. This is the thing. This is only my second full season following IndyCar, so I couldn't tell you for certain.
Tweet from Grosjean saying he was going to be racing.
Yeah, I think he is. Even
left till he was racing or something. So.
I think it's Texas. The 3 ovals are Texas, Indy, and there's one other, and I don't think it's
Alabama.
It's Barber Motorsports Park. I'm pretty sure it's a normal circuit.
And you said that was Alabama, right?
Yeah.
So next week's episode is going to be called Sweet Home Alabama, surely.
Potentially. Unless there's something to do with the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix we can squeeze in there. Which is coming up this weekend. Itching to get back to a bit of Formula 1 action after a 3-week break, which just seems far too long for the second race of the season. So, Imola.
I know Laura keeps asking me, like my wife keeps asking me, last 2 weekends, have we got Formula 1 this weekend? Are we watching Formula 1? I was like, there's no race. What? She's almost upset.
Don't worry, they'll be pretty
what is
much
wrong with her.
They will be pretty much every weekend coming.
I know, that's the thing. She's asking me now, and then she's like, and I bet you she'll get fed up of it in time.
Yeah,
but at the moment, she's up for trying to watch the whole season, which is hilarious.
I give her until Canada, round 7.
There we go.
Canada round 7, she'll get bored.
I give her up to Australia, actually.
Australia, that's like the third from the last race.
Yeah. She's gonna hold out. She's stubborn. You forget.
You reckon? Oh yeah. She's Irish. She's stubborn. Cool. Okay. So what do we think's going to happen in Imola then?
They're all going to slid off the track again because they did that last time.
This is the return of Russell Squirrel, isn't it?
Yes, Squirrel. So yeah, they're all just going to go flying off the track pointlessly. It's a shit race anyway, isn't it, Imola? Let's be honest.
It wasn't great last year. So.
It's a bit of a nothing. You can't overtake on it. It's not the greatest.
Suddenly got.
Sorry, go on, Charlie. Say again.
The last few laps suddenly started to heat up, did they not, last year? I remember the end of the race being alright, but most of it was pretty dull.
Track anyway. The cars got too much force and they're too fast for the modern iteration.
Has that now changed this year?
It's going to be.
Has that slightly changed now with the new aerodynamic pack?
No, not really. I mean, it might be different next year, but there's no guarantee we'll be going back to Imola next year. So,
yeah,
we don't know. I'm not particularly excited for it as a spectacle, but it is going to be interesting. I think the Red Bulls are going to have the quickest car quite comfortably because they were quick in Imola last year anyway, and given that their car is better this year. Verstappen probably should have won the race last year had he not crashed. But, as we've established, Max can't seem to finish in Italy. So, 3 races in Italy last year and he didn't finish any of them. So, so we'll move on to predictions. So, this is your first predictions with us, Charlie. We predict the winner, the fastest lap, and the first retirement. And there's also a random driver, which I pick on the random driver generator, which comes up on here. And then you get a bonus point if you get all 4 right. No prizes at the moment. Do we have a prize, Carl? The person you were supposed to email last week?
I didn't email them.
You didn't email them? Oh, okay. We might have a potential prize, but
we're not sure what we're going to do with it.
We're not sure if the prize exists yet.
Okay.
No.
If that's a bit of a clue as to what it might be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with my predictions then to give you guys a bit of a chance to think. I am going to go pretty out there for my prediction of the winner. I'm going to predict Sergio Perez to win the race because Max Verstappen can't finish in Italy.
Okay.
So, and I think Checo's race pace was just as good as Verstappen's last week when he was in clear air. I think he's very unlucky in qualifying. We know how good he can be. You can't overtake. I just have a feeling something's going to happen with Verstappen, and then as a result, Perez will be the quickest driver in the quickest car, and no one's going to be able to overtake him. So I'm going to go with Perez for the win. Who's next?
I'll go next. I think it'll be Verstappen. I'm just gonna.
I think that's a pretty safe
Play my
bet, to
card
be honest.
Say Verstappen.
Yeah, pretty safe bet. I think he's probably the favourite to win the race, but yeah. So we'll go with Verstappen for the win.
Go on, then. I'm just going to go with the hamster. Hamilton.
The hamster. You're turning into a right Hamfosi because you put Hamilton for the winner of both races so far.
Was I right last week?
You were, yeah. Yeah, that was your only point.
So,
Okay, fastest
yeah.
fastest lap. I'm going to go with Verstappen for fastest lap. He's gonna be the quickest guy at the start of the race before he goes into the back of Hamilton or something.
I'm gonna say Valtteri Bottas.
Bottas. He's always a safe bet because I think this year he's going to be probably the fastest lap champion because he's going to be in fourth place, way ahead of anyone else. So
yeah, I think Bottas, to be fair, is going to be
Bottas and Perez. Bottas and Perez for fastest lap award for this year.
Yeah.
All right, Carl.
Bottas.
Bottas. Okay. Right. Let's do.
Because he's going to be in clear air behind the three of them.
Yeah.
And then he's going to have last minute change of tyres because Norris or Ricciardo are going to be miles behind him.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen all season.
Probably. So first retirement. This is not going to be a popular one, but I'm going to go with Yuki Tsunoda because everyone's going on about Yuki Tsunoda and how amazing he's doing and stuff. It's like the guy made a mistake on the first lap in the last race, lost about 7 positions, and then spent the rest of the race getting those positions back, and then in the end was finished a couple of places higher than he started. Yeah, great overtaking, but he still made a mistake at the start of it. He's still very raw. It's a track where you haven't really got any opportunity to make mistakes. If you make a mistake, you're in the gravel.
Tom, I don't know even why you're talking. There is only one person that's going to be first retirement for the whole season for me. So let's not even bother asking me who that's going to be.
So you're going to go for Mazepin then for your first
who
retirement.
else? Little Draco Malfoy, absolutely.
Well, you said Sainz last week.
I know, but look, I learned by mistakes.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
I was gutted. I went Schumacher. No,
Draco Malfoy the whole bloody way.
Okay. So. I still think Tsunoda because I think he's very raw and he's going to be so full of confidence from last week. He's going to throw one up the inside of someone and end up in the wall.
You're throwing a lot of people up alongside people, aren't you?
Yeah. Go on then, Charlie. What do you reckon?
I'll say Mick Schumacher. Just that Haas looks very difficult to control.
It does. Oh, hang on. I've got it for that. I'm supposed to put MSC, not SCH, aren't I? Because his MSC is his denomination. Right. Okay. So random number generator. Here we go. The random number is number 9, which is Pierre Gasly. So finishing position of Pierre Gasly. 5th.
7th. I'll go.
So that is 5th. Charlie's going for 7th. I'm going to go 11th. There we go.
I mean, this is their home race.
Yeah.
And it's a track that he knows very well.
No, he's only done it once last year.
He didn't do too badly last year, did he? Did he win?
No, he didn't win.
He won.
No, Hamilton won last year.
I don't know. I think
Verstappen crashed out. Hamilton won it due to a virtual safety car. When Russell threw it in the wall.
I think he's going to be interesting this year. I think he'll surprise us. That's my...
Well, he surprised us last year, so it depends what you base surprising on, really.
On the fact that he's still in the game as opposed to...
Yeah, I still think he's overrated. I think Tsunoda over the course of the season is going to be close to him. I think Gasly will probably come out on top, but I think Tsunoda is going to be a lot closer than people think he will be.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Bold.
Definitely.
Cool. Right. That's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, that kind of covers us for this week, to be honest.
We shall see you guys.
Yeah, get in touch with us on the socials at Monkeyseat Pod. Open us up, actually. Charlie, where can people find you on social media?
They can find me on my Twitter at CharlieHorn11, Instagram at Charlie_Horn25.
And then you can get us on all the socials at Monkeyseat Pod, but we don't really use Facebook because that's kind of a bit of a dead media now.
I went back on it this week.
Yeah,
God
yeah,
help me.
we've got an Instagram. I'm gonna maybe try and start up Instagram again. We've not put anything on there for a while, but yeah, it's mostly Twitter at Monkeyseat Pod on there. I'll just mention actually before we go that you see that picture I sent round of the 1992 Senna Mansell
Oh yeah.
fight. That's had loads of interest. I posted that, and I've just had loads of likes and retweets from Japanese people because they love Ayrton Senna and they love McLaren. So yeah,
I never thought they'd like. Yeah, but they didn't. They've now unliked us and untweeted us because you've just dissed Sonoda. So
I haven't dissed Sonoda. I said he's going to be
swings and
close to
roundabouts.
Gasly. I said he's young, he's inexperienced, he's going to make mistakes, but he's going to be close to Gasly over the season. You know, race winner Pierre Gasly. If that is dissing Yuki Tsunoda, I'm sorry. I'm just not completely on the hype train that everyone else is.
right.
Anyway,
On that note,
we will see you all next time. Yeah.
bye.
Bye, everyone.
Should we put credits over this or something?
Nah. Okay. Credits. Done.
TomDoesEverything.com.
Credits. Tom.
Tom.
Carl occasionally has a rant. No, to be fair, your LinkedIn exploits have been very good for us. You've done good on LinkedIn for us.
That's right. Yeah, my world of business.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm gonna end.
Very good.
I'm going to end the live stream now. Bye live stream. Bye live stream. Right, we're not live anymore.
There we go.
Yeah,
Right.
the possible sponsor, Charlie, is Rich Energy.
I think we said that last week.
Yeah, to Laura.
We still haven't done it. Oh, we'll do it to Laura.
Yeah,
But we've got Rich Energy. They've actually sent
Potentially.
us some
They-
drink. Well,
they're
planning
gonna send us a crate of Rich Energy
need
to use
to
as a prize.
I don't know. I need to find that email. It went into somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't plug sponsors for racing this week.
Oh well.
Oh well, I'll do it in the show notes. Oh well, it's fine. Cool. Thanks for that, Charlie. That's really good. And we'll
When
see
have we
you
got
in
you next, Charlie?
a couple of weeks for Valencia.
Yeah. After the next one.
Valencia. Cool. I shall speak to you later.
All right. Bye, everyone.
See you. Bye.
Oh, Tom.
Oh,
Tom,
yes.
before you leave, what